Hey, what's up guys? Chris coming at you again from the Coach's Corner, and I'm talking to you guys today about hip mobility. That's right, one of the biggest problems I see is with all of the power training and strength sports that we're doing, one of the biggest things that I see is tight hips and tight glutes and tight hip flexors. And this is a huge problem, especially if we're doing a lot of a squatting motion. You gotta get these areas loose, and take it from me. I'm a 39-year-old strength athlete. Take this from me. I've spent years and years and years abusing myself and not stretching and getting the proper mobility correct. So what I've got now is I've got a regimen. It's a bunch of different stuff I've learned from a bunch of different people. You're gonna see a little bit of an Elliot Hulse action with a little bit of Joe DeFranco action, all molded together into 3 or 4, maybe 5 different things that's gonna help us get looser through the hips, get looser through the legs, and loosen up our low backs a little bit. So we can do the power things that we like to do: deadlifting, squatting, putting weight over our heads. So why don't we come with me, check out the stuff here, and give it a shot. If you love it, great. If not, the least that's gonna happen is your hips are gonna be looser. So you're gonna be able to swing that kettlebell and deadlift that bar a whole lot better. Come with me. So the first thing we're gonna do, this is an Elliot Hulse inspired strength stretching routine, and he does it with some plyo boxes. I don't actually have plyo boxes here in my gym, so we stacked up a couple of tires. This is what we've got going on here. Let me readjust our camera for us. You want to make sure that we're looking at approximately waist height. You could actually also do this on a kitchen counter. That's going to help tremendously if you don't have any of this stuff. But what we're going to do is we're going to take the foot, it comes up onto the tire, and you're gonna, I can tell I'm tight too. And we're just gonna let this drop down. You wanna stay nice and tall, let the hip drop. As this opens, you can kind of lean forward into it a little bit, but this is hitting here into the glutes. It's hitting that ball of the hip that is so hard to reach where that IT band tie-in is. This is hitting that ball of the hip and getting into those the glutes that it's just so important to get into. This is also a stretch that I haven't found anything else that mimics this. So you're gonna wanna do this. We're gonna try to get that knee to drop all the way down to the tire or the box or the counter or whatever you're on. And you're just gonna let that loosen up. And then you're gonna switch sides, you'll do the other side. I'm not gonna do that for the sake of time, but you wanna make sure. I already feel looser on the one side than I do on the other. It feels awesome. So do the other side, hold it for a minute, minute and a half. You'll know when it releases. So check that out, give that a shot. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna open up the hip flexors. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna kneel down, put a foot up. You can do this on a couch. You can pretty much do this on a weight bench or anything else you want to do it on. Elevated foot puts tension into the quads, and then we're coming forward into those hip flexors. Oh man, that just feels awesome. If you want a little extra, reach up over the top, and that gets right into those hip flexors, and man, doesn't that feel awesome? Again, you're gonna hold that for 45 seconds to a minute. All right, the last thing you're gonna need is one of these. Foam rollers are absolutely essential to any of the soft tissue work that we do here, any mobility, any flexibility stuff. If you've got soft tissue problems, myofascial trigger points and whatnot, you're not gonna be fluid in movement without getting them out. So a couple of areas, especially for the power sport mobility that we're talking about, the couple of areas we want to deal with. We want to deal with the IT band, which is going to be the side of your leg. You're going to go from the ball of your hip right down to the top of the knee. And what we're going to do is we're going to set that up just like so, right under the ball of your hip, cross your foot over here, and you're going to roll back and forth, and you're going to look for the tight little spots that you've got. When you find them, just kind of hold into it. And a tip that Joe DeFranco gave is once you get those tight spots, put a bend in, roll it a little bit more, and they release right away. So you want to roll again from top of the ball of the hip to the top of the knee to get the IT bands done. You also want to make sure that you're getting your hamstrings, roll those out nice and loose. And lastly, the inside of the leg, the inside of the thigh. Foam roller goes 45 degrees on the ground. And you want to make sure you're rolling. Go from the groin about halfway down and roll that particular spot out. Stop at any particular tight spots. And then from that halfway point to the inside of the knee. All right, guys, so there you have it. These mobility things that I just showed you here, again, it's not rocket science. It's nothing that I've come up with, but it's stuff that I personally use that is helping me be a much better weightlifter, a much better strongman. I noticed that as I do these hip mobility things, my Olympic lifting gets better. I noticed my receiving position in my snatch is much lower, and I'm not nearly as tight as I usually am, because I'm a pretty tight dude. So give these things a shot. Roll yourself out. Definitely get that first stretch in. It is the most amazing stretch that I've ever done. Enjoy them, guys. See you next time on